Cohort, I need a word. In truth, probably several hundred. You have my assurance each will be selected for maximum expository and rhetorical effect. My research has progressed as far as I'm able. It is time we concluded the Fate Weaver experiment. Absolutely. But the adversary is inextricably bound to my fate line. Thankfully, my studies have uncovered a way forward. We must procure a mystic text called the Unraveling Palimpsest. It currently resides within a tome trove called Choir's Wind. The contents of the palimpsest are unique to every reader. By reading the text, I can discover the anchors that bind the adversary to me. The first step in destroying him. What do you say? Ready to end this experiment? Choir's Wind is deep within Apocrypha, the far eastern side of the region. We'll need to be wary. As with so many cases in Mora's realm, the books are just as dangerous as its denizens. Our last adventure helped to focus my efforts. I believe the adversary is anchored to my fate line by defining moments in my life. That's what led me to the Unraveling Palimpsest. Bit of a cheat, but it wouldn't be the first time. I promised you a convivial attitude when we first began working together. And I hope I've delivered on that promise. But our time together has, well, clarified a few things for me. I've been searching for power and knowledge since I was old enough to draw runes in the sand outside Cozin's set. I've realized in some ways I never looked up from those sands. Together, Cohort, you and I, we can set this thing right. The tome is a supernatural phenomenon created in reaction to the vast oceans of knowledge in Mora's realm. The reader can learn any secret, any truth, as long as it pertains to their life. It unravels the secrets of the reader's fate line. Inordinately. But once we make use of the tome, well, we cannot do so again. I've been keeping it in my proverbial back pocket. A lever to shift a problem I cannot solve any other way. I feel the adversary rises to that level. Rather than wander this maze, let's make use of my rune of searching again. Incantus eruditum. Just follow where it leads, Cohort, and don't worry about getting waylaid. It will wait for us. Ah, there, on the ledge. Exceptional. I'll take a quick perusal here, one of my favorite pastimes, really. Reading an ancient tome to find an inscrutable answer while someone stares at me expectantly. Just skimming past some nonsense about my inner self. Serenity, inner peace. Ah, here. My research was correct. It seems the adversary is anchored to my fate line by specific moments, particular choices. We can use those anchors against him. It will require an uncomfortable delve into my past. Prepare yourself. We'll have to acquire a trio of artifacts that represent hinge points in my life. The first is a bloodstone to represent my time with dear old Spellwright Nilvan in Balmora. An ethereal rubric. I made one studying with the Stargazers. Nonsense I left behind near Belkarth. We'll also need Nathrine's commentaries. A rebuttal of a treatise I wrote during my time at Chatastula. Not looking forward to that. Thank you for the infiniteth time, Cohort. Your support is what makes this journey of mine possible. We'll need the bloodstone, rubric, and paper if we're going to confront the adversary. Just let me know if you have any questions. Of course, they're all, well, personal representations of my past. totems. Effigies of past failures, you might call them. What would you like to know? It's technically a calx of Alessian solvents, but no one calls it that. The Balmarin alchemist I studied with, Nilvan, is one of a handful in the world who know how to make them. It's the perfect representation of my studies and failures with him. He has an alchemical studitorium, of course, but as I recall, he enjoyed studying with the background drone of conversation and libation. We should check the inn at Balmora, a quaint little place with the ever-so-droll name of the Randy Netch. It's an instrument. The Stargazers believe it can allow them to interact directly with the Celestials. God's wallop, of course. But the underlying magical principles in their work have been instrumental in my own research. The observatory just above Belkarth was where I spent most of my time. The Stargazers are an odd group, and I'm not sure who among their order will still be around after all these years. We'll just have to hope someone remembers me. Eladrina Nethrine, one of my tutors at Shadastula. During my time there, I wrote a treatise called The Fate Dialectical. She took umbrage with my assertions and wrote an extensive rebuttal. I thought it was drivel. Now, it's key to our plan. Nethrine will be in the Shadastula main building, likely the Archmage's offices. She was already a prominent scholar and no doubt has continued to rise since my departure. I'm just hopeful she's mellowed in the intervening years.
I can't believe they want us to go outside the house to find Bear.
Yeah!
Vivek, I had a premonition last night that Azander would darken my door. Or possibly I had terrible gas. Unpleasant either way. Azander al-Sabiadi's back in my life. No doubt you're the new assistant, tottering along after him like he's got all the answers. What's made you desperate enough to come talk to me? Of course you are. It's always about what he needs, or rather, what he wants. What that man needs is a different thing entirely. Wait, I'm sorry. I'm not being fair to you. My professional relationship with Azander was brief, but intense. Much the same as you, unless I'm mistaken. He's brilliant. And that brilliance draws people in, like a moth to a flame, just as blinding. But I digress. You said you needed a bloodstone? I do. Azander and I made it together years ago. It's hidden away in a cache of supplies. I'd even be willing to summon it here for you, if the price is right. Those things are expensive to make, you know. Easy enough. Just a fair warning, friend. If Azander offers to pay you back, he probably won't. The man has a hole in his coin purse as deep as Apocrypha. I'll summon the stone. Take it, and good luck to you.
I see you're still holding on to these mephitic notions of victimhood, Nilvan.
And you're still a pompous ass that uses 10 coin words when one will do. I'll summon this, and then you two get gone.
I don't feel so well.
For whatever it's worth, Nilvan, I'm sorry that things ended so badly between us. This stone is in excellent shape. Thank you.
Free take you, you pretentious fetcher. Onwards, and get out of here.
Take pride in your work, I always say.
Well, well, well. Look what the Sench dragged in.
Cohort, would you mind speaking with her? Please?
Xander Alsabiadi's back at Shat Astula? Sivi's arse! I never thought I'd see the day. Pray tell me, attractive stranger, what in Aetherius could he possibly want? Oh, really? If I recall clearly, and I do, he read the first 2 paragraphs when I presented it to him, then insulted me using several words I'd never heard before, and threw the document in the fire. You don't think I'd give my only copy of a written piece into his hands, do you? I have another. However, my assistance comes with a price. I always liked Xander, despite himself, but he insulted me that day, truly. I want a sincere apology. As sincere as Xander can make it, I suppose. I can see over your shoulder he looks quite guilty. And he certainly seems more mature. But to dismiss and denigrate the efforts of his peers was wrong.
This is everything I feared. Sweet Mora's eyes, this is embarrassing. You have to understand, Cohort. At the time, I thought it was merely a scholarly disagreement. I'd spent months on my dialectics, and I felt I was being dismissed as unimportant, unoriginal. I mean, yes, you're quite right. I just remember how angry I was. But in truth, her arguments were well thought out, insightful even. Throwing her work into the flames, in front of her no less, was a childish act. Very well. Hello, Eladrina. Some time ago, I behaved rather boorishly to you. So...
That's your best effort? You never found a book on apologizing in the great libraries of Apocrypha?
I'm sorry. I reacted badly to perceived criticism. I insulted you, ignoring the time and effort you put into reading and responding to my work. Tossing your work aside as I did was inexcusable. And I apologize.
Well, mercy, Mother preserve me. Thank you, Xander. Apology accepted. My copy's on the lower shelf on the far wall. Good luck with whatever you're into.
Xander Alcibiades. Last time I saw you threw an etheric construct at the highest astronomer's head.
Ha! I'd forgotten that. It was the only way to get through to that simpleton. Well, coincidentally, if you believe in such things, I have need of that rubric. Any chance it's still around? Exhausting but superlative work, Cohort. Now that we have the anchors, we will transform them into a weapon, a means to unmoor the adversary from my fate line. Such magic would normally be a lengthy and unstable process. Do you recall Tem, the Omen of Fate? I'm loath to say it, but that Daedra's skill with fate weaving outstrips even my own. If I offer him a contract, I believe he can quickly and efficiently transform our anchors into a rune form of unmaking. A trifle. We shall borrow a summoning circle from the Mages Guild. At your earliest convenience, Cohort, we should make for the city of Riften. In the Rift. Ugh, Nords. The flow of magicka through every hall is different. Each resonates with a unique arcanic potential. It's all in the subtleties, you know. Also, I stole the key to the ritual room at the Riften Hall several years ago, and they still haven't noticed. Let's get to Riften quick as we can. I'm not eager to speak to Tim again. But we must do what we must. Onward and upward! Oh, a fairly standard parlay. Daedra are immortal, you know, so they're always looking to trade favors. That is what I shall do with Tem. A favor owed in exchange for his assistance today. Don't worry, cohort. Perfectly safe.